Good afternoon. So we're carrying on this restoration of the 1977 Maico 440AW. I've had partially a good morning and partially a very boring morning. So the good bit was that I went to pick the barrel up, which I'll just show you now. There we go. So I don't know if you remember this, but there was a massive gouge down one side of the barrel and then a smaller gouge down the other side. I'd originally thought it was the gudgeon pin that the circlip that had come out, but it wasn't. It was actually the gudgeon pin, because there must have been no circlips in it. I mean, I don't know who built this engine in the first place, but there was no circlips in the piston to hold the gudgeon pin, and then the magnet for the stator. There was no bolt in that to hold it, so the timing could have gone off at any point. So a bit of a disaster, really. Anyway, but luckily this barrel, it was the original bore, so it was 82mm. And on my video I'd said that I was going to buy an 84mm piston. That's the biggest oversized piston that there is. And I decided to hedge my bets and I bought an 83.5. So then I took it to get it rebored. They were a bit skeptical as to whether it would work, but then they called me and said that they'd managed to do it. So that was all great. I was chuffed to bits with that. I've been to pick it up and it looks absolutely bang on. As you can see, there's absolutely no marks in there at all. They've managed to get the clearance perfect for the piston, and we're 83.5mm, so 1.5mm over, so it's got another 0.5 mil to go for the next size up piston, so that's good. Very, very good news, really. So then the rest of the morning, what I've done is I've spent that measuring nuts and bolts. So I've measured all the engine nuts and bolts and all the frame nuts and bolts, and then I've just spent about an hour and a half ordering them all up from a nut and bolt supplier. So that's what I've been up to. So it's a bit boring, really. Good few hours of my life that I'll never get back. Anyway, so now I spoke to Case. They've got a 2-week lead time on getting the fork legs rechromed. I checked out another supplier, but they were longer lead time and like well expensive. I could have bought a full new set of forks, I think, for the amount of that they wanted to charge. So I'm just going to strip these forks down, get them packaged up and get them sent off to Case, and we can get them rechromed. And then that's another piece of the puzzle. The powder coating is going to take 2 weeks. I'm waiting for a whole load of stuff to come from Bill Brown and from Off-Road Only and from obviously the nut and bolt supplier and the bearing place. In fact, the bearing place, I ordered the engine bearings yesterday. They've turned up this morning. I was getting the crank bearings from Bill Brown, so just waiting on them. Once they've arrived, I can build the engine, and then we can wait on the powder coating, which is going to be 2 weeks, like I say. And then, I mean, it's literally then, I think the only other thing that I'm going to be struggling with is the wheels. Having the hubs powder coated, I've got the spokes. I've been struggling to find some rims, so I've got a couple of people on the lookout for some rims. Don't know whether I'll build the wheels myself. I was thinking that I would, but it just depends. One of my mates has said that you can maybe get them built for pretty cheap, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, all moving on nice. Probably, I mean, I reckon another 2-3 weeks probably the bike will be completely finished. So yeah, nice, exciting times. So the fork stripped down. So I always like to put I mean, you can see the forks are massively pitted. I have seen worse, but I mean, it's going to be a mint bike when it's done, so it's worth getting it all done now. You can see the fork caps, as you can see, someone's had some mole grips on them in the past. You should use a pin spanner to undo these. They've had mole grips on them before, so I'm just going to see how easily that'll loosen off. I'll be either loose, so that's nice. I'll be either cleaning these up or replacing them with another set. I think I've got a few sets upstairs, so we'll be finding a nice set or doing some work and cleaning them up. And then the fork bottom, what I always do before the top comes off, we've still got some spring pressure. I always take the pressure out of that bottom bolt. So then once the spring's out, it'll disassemble easily. So I've already done that with my gun, so that's all loose. So I'll crack on. I'll turn these forks the other way up and we'll crack on stripping them down. There we go, so that's both forks completely disassembled. They're a proper simple fork. There's the fork leg, and mounted into it at the bottom there's like this piston. It's a stationary piston. It sits in the leg. You can see they're absolutely minging. It's disgusting. It needs a proper good clean up, everything. And then as the fork tube moves up and down, it's that forces the oil in and out. So it's this that effectively creates the damping, though there's not much damping, certainly not much compared to like a cartridge fork, a modern fork. So yeah, so all fully disassembled. The springs look minging. I'm going to clean the fork tubes up now, and then I can get them sent off to case, and then that's another little job off the list for this restoration. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Phoenix Motos.